Okay, ready? It's been a minute since I've done one of these. Like a hot fucking minute. Yeah. Alright, everybody. Okay, we'll do this. Alright, everybody, it's fucking popping. It's been a hot minute since I've done a podcast. I don't even know what episode we're on. I'm actually gonna look so I can title the video correctly. But I'm with my man, Eric Abrons. Right? Did I say that right?
You did say that right.
Eric Abrons. Yeah. Dude's a fucking legend, one of the most woke individuals I'm acquainted with. So this is episode 57. This is episode 57. We pumped out a lot of podcasts.
I didn't realize you had that many episodes.
Yeah,
I was thinking 20. But
yeah, people are always like in my TikTok lives are like, bro, like start a podcast. I'm like, bro, I have like fucking 60 episodes damn near. But yeah, Eric Abrons from you grew up in Manhattan, right?
New York City, yeah. New York City my whole life.
That's fucking
21
crazy.
years. And
what's it like growing up with no trees?
I mean, we have Central Park, we got Riverside, we got trees. Obviously, it's a city vibe, but I mean, we got diversity. I mean, you grow up fast because you have to, you know?
Yeah? What makes you say that?
Taking the train and stuff, being around. I mean, there are dangerous neighborhoods. I mean, I play basketball and shit, so I'd go to like the Bronx, Brooklyn.
Damn, that's crazy, because I've never been there. I've literally never been there.
You know, there's homeless people, crazy people, like that's a real thing.
It's a real issue? Fuck.
Most people know that about New York City.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about it. I heard there's big rats, like really huge rats and shit.
Yeah, the train at night, like they come out.
No way, are they like actually meaty rats?
Some of them are. Some of them are.
You're just go, damn, it's a big rat.
But like, you know, it's not like they're. I don't know. I feel like when you live in New York, it's like not really. Like, you just get used to it. But yeah, I'll be in Miami soon, so that's.
Yeah, man's moving into my building.
That's a
supposedly.
Yes.
Supposedly.
Like, yeah.
But all right, so let's fucking dive into your story. So guys, we're gonna dive into Eric's story and show you guys that like it's never been easier. It's never been easier. Eric's got an Instagram with what 115K right now.
Yeah, like 126,000.
126,000.
I've been stuck in that for a while. That's not a flex, but like, yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's
a number.
He's got a protein bar company now. Like,
yeah.
That's fucking epic. Like,
nutrition bar.
Nutrition, not protein.
You don't want the stigma of like a protein bar, because then it's like, you don't need to be this jacked up fitness guy
nutrition.
To have
nutrition.
You know?
I like that. They're plant-based too, right?
Yes, they are, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
To be a health-conscious individual, man. You know?
So when did your journey start?
Oh, my journey, like into all of this, man, like I've always been like kind of quiet, observing, like an introvert who kind of just watch a lot of things. And you know, I didn't do well in school.
Felt that.
Did not do well in school. I didn't like it, and I didn't like that I felt like shit. You know,
like school made you feel like shit. Yeah.
Like I would get a bad grade, and like I'd have this fear of criticism. Like, what are my parents gonna say? Oh, my teachers are gonna say this, and then it's like they'd say like, oh, you have potential to do better. Like, why aren't you?
And then you're vibrating at a low frequency because you're in this fear of like, fuck, I have to get a good grade.
Yeah.
Fuck, my parents are gonna be pissed at me.
Yeah. But like, I just feel like something in me like always told me, like I talk about, I had like this inner feeling that like it was okay, and like I would question my intelligence, but not because I actually thought that I wasn't or that I wasn't aware, but because other people made me feel that way.
Right, and it's kind of crazy what determines your intelligence in school, bro. Because I always questioned it too. Like growing up, I'd be like, how the hell is math gonna determine how smart I am? Because I always felt like I was smart. I always felt like I understood people and how to communicate, and like I always felt like I was gonna be successful. But like school, like I would always like kids in class would always call me stupid and shit. Like always, because like I just didn't try because I was like, this shit's not relevant. Like why would I try? So it's like,
and obviously like you're comparing and you're competing with other
relative.
people in your class.
It's all relative. And I feel like school, it's really not how smart you are, but how your ability to shut up and do what you're told, you know, like, and your ability to study. You know what I mean? I could never study. I could never study because I just thought it was irrelevant. I'm like,
I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Like I was more focused on what I was doing outside of the classroom, you know?
Yeah. Like,
I spent a lot of time with myself. Like I played basketball, and like even just being in the gym by myself, like working on myself, like there was always like that self-development aspect.
Honestly,
that I love more than anything, you know?
And I've kind of, you probably can agree to this, like I've always kind of like, I always kind of relate everything to like our ancestors and like prehistorical, like living naturally almost. Like school is fucking man-made, the curriculum's man-made, like everything that we're experiencing nowadays is basically man-made. Like we're so disconnected from our natural instincts, and it's just so unhealthy. Like a majority of people hardly even get sun, bro. Like it's insane. Like clothes are man-made. Like and there's fluoride in our water, man. Like it's.
Yeah.
I could go on forever, but
like everyone just goes along with it, you know.
Right? They just don't question it because like they just accept what the reality is rather than like create their own reality.
Yeah, and like that's what I didn't just want to follow along and just like do things because other people told me to. Like I just questioned the authority.
Question the authority. What book is that? What book says question the authority?
Like a lot of books say that.
They probably do. They probably do.
But like,
so did you drop out of college?
I did drop out of college. Yeah.
What year?
That's kind of after my first semester freshman year. First semester. So one semester in, I mean, even like when I started, like when people were looking at colleges, like senior year of high school, it's just like where are you going? Like people don't even ask the question of like why are you going? You know, it's just assumed that you're gonna go. Yeah, if you're going, it's just assume like you're gonna go to college, you're gonna do the next thing, you can let along, but it's like where are you going?
They're just pushing you.
It's like you trust, and trust is great, but like why trust outside of yourself if you trust yourself? And it's like
they've been programming it. You said it's like elementary school. I'll be like, all right, guys, we're gonna be doing an exercise that's gonna prepare you for high school, and then when you get to high school, all right, we're preparing you for college now. And you're just like, the fuck. Like, do I have a choice here? Like, and so it really didn't feel like I had a choice, bro. Like, I remember like when I had to pick a college, I was like, fuck. Like, I have no idea. Like, I literally have no idea. So I ended up just picking one that was open enrollment because it was just like it was right down the road for me. I'm like, okay, like this is all we have, and I guess I have to go to college. So fuck, here we go. So you dropped out. What was like your thing that made you go like, okay?
Well, I mean, like I don't know. I was like. I really knew that like, I didn't think college was going to be something that I was going to stick to. I guess I just wanted to at least taste it, so at least I had like a little bit of an experience. Yeah. You know, like dip my feet in it, just see what it was like. But it's like so many things were pulling me from it and thinking like I want to see life for what it is. Like I want to learn outside of the pressure of
right. And it's like when you drop out, like you feel like the pressure like release.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, damn, I actually have the time to study what I want to study right now. Like, I can learn what I feel is important rather than, like, getting a curriculum shoved down my fucking throat.
Yeah. And I just felt like there's a lot of opportunity to, like, not be in college, to actually be in the world.
Right, bro.
And it's, like, a big thing, too. It's, like, we have time and money. Those are, like, the two main components of college. And it's, like, I would much rather invest my time and money into things outside of, you know, college.
That's what I don't understand, bro. Like, you know, college, let's say, like... On the cheap scale, college would probably cost someone around $40,000. Like on the lowest of ends, $40,000. And imagine if you put that $40,000 into yourself, into a business, into fucking a crypto, like something. Like, in those 4 years, it's gonna appreciate way more than if you were to put it into a degree. And it's just like some people are like they don't really acknowledge that fact. Where it's just like, well, no, I'm just gonna get a degree, put it in my back pocket. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna hurt you, but. Like, if you're not happy, why are you, like, it's like you're forcing yourself to swallow a pill that you don't really want to swallow, you know? But it all comes down to fear, bro. It all comes down to fear, I think.
Yeah.
You think?
Fear, yeah, but it's also, like, you're doing something that's comfortable. Like, you're doing something that everyone around you is doing. It's like, why jump into the uncertainty when, like, everyone tells you, you go to college, you get a good job, and you'll be successful. And you'll be able to go on like 2 vacations a year, have a family, all these great things that like you're kind of promised, but it's like you're not promised any sense of self, of who you are. That there's nothing there to figure out. You know, you're kind of kept distracted and consumed to figure yourself out, to kind of see life from yourself, you know, and like, you know, see what this is and not just be like everyone else, you know. It's like most people are other people. You've probably heard that before.
Most people are. I haven't heard that one.
You know,
most people are other people. Damn. And I agree entirely when you said with that distraction thing, like, most college kids are so distracted by, like, their roommates, everyone inviting them to go to parties that they don't even have time to think for themselves and, like, give themselves the time to figure out, okay, where the fuck am I headed in life right now? And it's just like, yeah, bro, like, it's so overstimulated, like, like, no one ever gets, it's just because there's a system in play. You know what I mean? Like, they put you into, like, these basically resorts in these dorm rooms that have, at your most sexually active age, surrounding you by people that are all horny as shit and alcohol. So it's just like every weekend, and then it's always someone's fucking birthday, and like, it's my friend's birthday, I gotta go out. Like, or you join a frat and your frat makes you go out, or you join a sorority and your sorority makes you go out, and if you don't join a sorority or a frat, you get FOMO because you can't go out. So it's just like, bro, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more what college is about anyway. It's about, like, the social environment.
Making connections, yeah.
You know, and, like, I can see why that's something that's, like, appealing. Like, I can see why people would want to go for that. Like, it is certainly an experience. Like, people talk about
hell of an experience.
People talk about it being like the best 4 years of their life, but it's like you also hear that people come out of college more lost than they did going into it. So
they expected to have everything figured out afterwards, but like they get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, and it's kind of like at what cost? Like, is that worth it? You know?
Right, bro.
And it's like, what are you actually learning? Like, what is your education? Is it education or just getting you ready to be an employee? Like just getting you ready to be a so-called functioning member of society.
And then just do what you're told there. Like, you're doing what you're told throughout all of school, having really no control over your life. Like, I had the flu all last week, and I was thinking to myself, like, damn, if I had a job right now, if like I was working for someone, I could potentially lose my job because I'm sick. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fucking insane. That is insane. And people are like, they're like, all right, yeah, whatever. I work a 9 to 5. And it's crazy because like University of Miami, $80,000 a year, $80,000 a year.
You're paying that debt the rest of your life. So
Exactly. Unless you have really well-off parents, but it's just like the majority of the kids there, I don't see them studying ever. Like, and if you're a U Miami kid watching this, like, don't take it personally. Like, I literally just haven't seen you study. Like, I love the University of Miami. Everyone there is so fucking nice and outgoing and welcoming.
But I don't even think it's the studying that's matters. Like, I don't think they're studying to learn. I think they're studying to just
pass the test. Pass the test, because once you pass the test, you don't have to learn the shit again.
Yeah, and most of it is just memorization. And for some reason, people think that like education and learning is 4 years. Like, it's lifelong. Like, I didn't
every day.
I didn't drop out to not learn. I mean, I didn't read a single book in high school or college, and now, like, in the last year, I've read more than I read my entire education.
Right? And then, like, it's addicting. Because you start learning, and you're like, fuck, like, the more you learn, the more you realize how much more you have to learn.
Because you're learning for yourself. You're not learning for a system, for a person in authority, for a teacher, for, you know, to look good to your friend, to, you know, build your self-esteem through this, like, falsified ego, and, you know.
And it's really beautiful. Like, once you actually start learning for yourself, and, like, because when you choose to, like, what you're learning, you're not learning it because you have to pass a test.
Yeah.
You're learning it because, like, you genuinely have an interest in it and you feel like it could benefit you in a way.
Yeah. And it's also another thing that most people don't get is, like, there's no talk about self-awareness. So it's like you don't even know the things that really interest you or the things that you can learn and grow from and challenge yourself in.
How do you think people could improve their self-awareness?
Improve your self-awareness? Well, I mean, for one, you have to see where your current thoughts have come from. You know,
question your beliefs.
how you view yourself. You know, challenge things, like to get really curious. You know, learn, you know, your emotional responses, the way that you react. It's like getting to know someone new for the first time. Like, there's so many things that you would ask. There's so many things you're interested in them. And it's like we have so much interest in things outside of ourselves, but it's like we're so disinterested in ourselves. But it's like everywhere you go, you are with yourself, meaning everything happens through you, everything comes from you. You are the experiencer, and yet you're not aware. You don't know that experiencer whatsoever.
Damn.
You know, and it's like life is so, like, we really don't understand a lot of things. We really don't know.
Yeah, we don't know shit. Like,
but it's like
it's like we do know a lot, but like no one knows what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Like, why are we here, bro?
It's more like we know a lot to protect us, to keep us safe, to keep us away from the unknown, the uncertain, because to live in that space, people think it's fearful. I think it's freeing, you know, because it's like, that's where possibility is. Like, you talk about create your reality, you have that program. You can't create your reality if you're stuck in program cycles, impulsiveness, all these things that are always, you know, calling your attention, calling your name. You're stuck in these feedback loops, instant gratification. It's like you have to ground yourself first. Like, what reality are you creating? I mean,
you got to figure out what reality you want to create.
There is a reality that's always being created. It's just you're not the one creating it.
Right.
You know?
And I've had a hard time putting that into words.
Yeah.
And like, I've always tried to question. Okay, so if I'm not, like, if someone's like kind of mindlessly creating their reality, who's creating the reality? Like, who's pulling the puppet strings? You know what I mean? Like, who?
Well, it's like, think from such a young age. Well, one, we don't know anything. You know, our brain development is like it's not really developed at all. Our consciousness is, we're not aware, and so we're so susceptible. And so like we're put into school, your parents, depending on what household, you're brought up in, that will depend on how you grow, because your environment nurtures you.
And everything you're told, you just believe.
And then there's your nature too. And I guess some people can have a stronger nature where like they can fight it yourself. Like maybe you were able to do that, but for a lot of people they can't do it, and their environment takes them over, and their inner voice, it just becomes dormant, and it becomes silenced. And then it's like you can't feel like you can be with yourself, and it's like you wonder why people always feel like they have to fill this void. It's because it's like they're running away from themselves, and they don't even.
Because they don't know who themselves is.
There's a stranger within us all,
There's a stranger within us all. This man's a walking poem. This man just hitting me all night.
I think that's a Carl Jung quote, if I'm being honest.
There's a stranger within us all.
Some paraphrase.
God damn. Yeah, I mean, it's like, from a young age, like I think it's ages from 1 to like 9, 1 to 7 or some shit, like, where you're just completely subconscious. Like everything that you're taking in, you're just like believing, you're like trusting, you're completely susceptible, like you said. It's like our parents are getting this information and they're relaying it to us, but where did our parents get that information, and where did that person get their information? You know what I mean?
It's the same thing. It's the household you grow up into. Like some people that slightly varies, but then it's like we pretty much all have the same schooling system, and a lot of those similarities, and that forms us to kind of keep the world going. I mean, like it's kind of clear that we do have a mass group of people.
It does kind of make sense that there is a system in play, because 7 billion people. If there was not a system in play, like what the fuck would be going on? You know what I mean? It's just like that's why like I would say like 5% of the world wakes up to what's actually going on and starts questioning things and starts creating their reality. But like 7 billion people. If everyone on this planet was like one day woke up and was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there would be like mass hysteria. Like, people would lose their fucking shit. Like, no one would show up to McDonald's. No one would show up to Whole Foods. No one's doing anything that they don't want to do anymore. You know what I mean? And people are gonna like we wouldn't have food in the grocery store, because no one would want to go pick the food, because like why would people do what they don't want to do? You know what I mean? So like, I guess like it's cool because not that many people see my YouTube videos. So like. There's enough abundance for everyone who sees this video to actually take action and create the reality and not fuck up the whole system. So that's why I'm glad I'm not huge. You know what I mean? Because I can get really intimate with these people and they can actually like implement the shit. Because if I was like fucking like Logan Paul size, and that would start causing
some huge influencer. But I don't know, it's like we're always told what to do, and like obviously from such an early age, even like just when you're a kid and they're like, don't make your bed, just even small things. So it's like we learn that approach to life of always having a structure, having people tell us what to do, and we kind of like it because we feel lost. Like we're like, what do I do with my life? Well, it's like, well, that's for you to decide,
Yeah,
it's like that's for you to
what
decide.
Do you want to fucking do?
But it's like, if you don't decide, then like don't complain when like you
end up doing something you don't want to do. So like, get in the fucking steering wheel of your car and decide where you want to go, or else you're never gonna get there. How can you hit a target if you don't know what the fucking target is?
Exactly.
If you had one thing you wanted to say to the whole world, what would it be?
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that you hear, talking on, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all these different platforms, and they may have great approaches to life, but as soon as you look at someone for an approach, you make them the authority. And I think that we should all, to some degree, be the authority of our own life. I think that we all know what's best for us. And so I don't think that you should look to someone else for the answers when you're sitting on them. And
you're sitting on the answers.
It's like we all have these amazing capabilities as human beings, this intuition, but we never develop them because we're too focused on developing this persona, this ego, this person that can never be fulfilled, that's always lacking. And it's like, we've talked about this, but everything, all abundance, all wholeness, all love, it exists in this moment. And nothing really exists outside of that. And, if you live in your mind, you're going to live in a lot of suffering. And so I would really say that the best thing you can do is be comfortable with your own company, develop that relationship, because that relationship you have with yourself is the relationship you have with other people, the relationship you have with the world. Like, it's all a reflection. And like I just think that like that's the most important thing you can do, because if you can count on yourself, you don't need to count on anyone else. So yeah.
God damn, that was fire.
I don't want to go on a tangent. I don't want to go on.
No, bro, that was crazy. I'm sure the people that are listening to this are probably writing this shit down, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, that's easily the most fire thing someone said on the podcast. So that's fucking Eric Abrons, everyone. My lord, Ambi Nutrition. We're gonna put the link to ambi.com in the
ambinutrition.com. Yeah,
ambinutrition.com. We're putting that shit below. Try out the nutrition bars. The shits are gas. My man plugged me up. My man plugged me up. With like,
nuts and honey, peanut butter, dark chocolate chip, maple, apple, cinnamon coming.
I haven't had the maple. Oh,
it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, we're still working on the prototypes.
Like, actually, try these shits out.
Yeah,
like, they're good as fuck.
One thing I was just gonna add there, because I just feel like putting it in there is that I don't think that I am what I say, and not to get too deep, but it's like sometimes.
You think you're channeling?
No, but it's also like if someone says something and you say it's wise, is it wise even if the person doesn't say it? Like, wisdom is wisdom on its own. Thoughts are thoughts on its own. Like, all of this stuff is recycled. Like, I am not what I say. I'm aware of it, and I'm able to express it.
Is it because you're recycling it from someone else who said it? And like,
sure, but it's also like, you talked about it too, how like thoughts arise in our mind, and we can give certain thoughts attention, or we can give them attention. How can we be the attention and the thoughts? So it's like
the attention and the thoughts.
So it's like, and I think what makes each of us unique, like, for example, you, is how you express things, how you deliver these things. But the things you express, the things you say, you are not those things.
Yeah.
If that kind of makes sense, because like, we can so easily praise people for what they say, but what they say isn't who they are. And it's like, people watching me right now could form an image or an idea of me, but that's not me.
So what is you?
It's a good question.
He's like, fuck.
That's
here. Like
that's a really good question. Yeah, I mean,
I am here. Like, that brings me to this. This one time, me and my friend were just talking, and we were like, we were talking about how the only time your name was ever Eric was the moment that your parents named you, because in that moment you were Eric, but throughout the rest of your entire life, it's just a label that you were just kind of stuck with. And like, that's how people identify you, but like right now I'm just an awareness of this being.
Right.
Like, I'm not Alex, I'm just an awareness of this,
A label, an idea, a concept, any of those things, it doesn't have a physical reality.
Just an awareness.
Like,
basically just be an awareness of everything. Don't label anything, or try not to. I'm gonna give an example, the sunset example. So basically, sunset's a perfect example. If you see a sunset, and you look at the sunset and you go, damn, that's a beautiful sunset. As soon as you label the sunset beautiful, you're putting it in a box and you stop experiencing it for what it is. So stop trying to put a label on anything, whether it be a relationship, a sunset, fucking, you name it. You stop experiencing for what it is. So just experience life for what it is and stop trying to figure everything the fuck out.
Yeah. Because we want to put our human mind on everything, our ego's fingertips on everything, but as soon as we do that, it's like, we limit it. We restrict it to just it being what it is.
We want to put our human mind on everything. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome.
Well, because it's like we feel like we have to. It's like we have this human language.
We're conditioned to,
Yeah, like we're conditioned to. And you obviously lose some of the beauty, and like I said this before, like you may have an image of me, I may have an image of you, and then it's like, is it me and you as human beings expressing ourselves and talking back and forth, or is it these images?
Two images that are just.
Is it these ideas of ourselves that are getting to know each other, or is it
that one hits me, bro?
And it's like hard to think about it, but it's like as soon as you try to think about it, you start forming ideas again, and then you lose that presence. And it's like sometimes almost I think like the best way to get to know someone is just being in their presence, and it's like. Then you feel their energy, and like you don't need to use language because
the truth is behind the words, bro.
Yeah, like that's where like you transcend it,
The truth is, dude. Energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie.
Like when you walked into a room before, and like you could tell maybe someone didn't really like you, or if you didn't really vibe with someone's energy.
You can pick it up. Yeah. You just gotta tune into your intuition. Like no one's ever taught us how to do that, but like the energy doesn't lie. And like I hate how like it's become like. People have thought it's like corny to think that energy is like trendy and shit, but like energy's everywhere. Everything is energy. There's an invisible web that connects everything that's manipulated by energy, and like emotion is the language of the universe, and like energy is the language of the universe. So don't sleep on that shit. Tap into your intuition. Tap into your awareness, and like life will
flow a lot more.
Yeah, it'll flow.
You know,
that's a good
when you're in alignment with yourself, you're in alignment with everything. And you know, when you trust yourself, you don't need to worry about if something right now doesn't seem like it's going the way you want, because it's like maybe like a breakup or something really hard you're going through is the lesson that you need to learn. And we don't pick the lessons that come into our life. Like, they come into our life for a reason, and like that's beyond us wanting to happen, because it's happening for us. If you just say it's happening to me,
for me,
exactly, and if you just say it's happening to you, then you're a victim to life, and you're just gonna say, why me, why me, why am I going through this? It's not, what is this trying to show me? You know, how is this trying to help me?
I heard this one quote, and it was, I've had 1,000 battles in my life, and 999 of them were all in my head, because literally everything is fought in the mind. Like, a breakup could be a problem in your head, but it's all in your head. It's all about how you perceive things. That's why perception is so fucking powerful. Okay, I think we can cash it right there.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I feel like that was
awesome.
I feel like that was the most informative 25-30 minutes I've ever recorded in my life. That was absolutely gas. I hope people like just plop in their AirPods and just zone out to that.
I appreciate you having me on. That was,
dude. When you moved to Miami, we got
for sure.
Me, you, and Abe could just hop on podcasts all the time. You need to meet that man.
I definitely do. I'm excited to meet him.
You guys would vibe very well together, and we could do this shit whenever. We're getting a studio,
and it's just great because it's like it's not we need to force or try anything or like
just flows.
You know, it just flows. We're both here, present in the moment.
We're both here right now.
You know,
and you guys are right there right now. And they're looking around. They're like, "Oh shit, I am here right now." All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Eric's info is going to be in the description.
Thank you.
Get ready for more podcasts, because
grateful for you all.
I need to be pumping these shits out. People like them. People are always telling me like, "Yo, pump it out." I'm like, okay, I got you guys. And I enjoy making them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. There's plenty more to come. Comment below if you fucked with it. And I'll see you in the next one.
Peace.